Jackass!
What? Is it? Oh, what's that? Sorry, what's that useful advice there? Do better, did you say? Okay, cool. Really?
Moral of the story: don't be racist.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, so we're here with Daman Bamrah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You almost got that right.
Fuck's sake!
You went Bramrah there.
Did I? Okay, hold on. Let's go that again.
Yeah, we're restarting. We're restarting.
So we're here with Daman Bamrah.
Hey, lovely to be here.
You're the second Indian comedian we've had on whose name I've got wrong.
Really?
Yeah, so we had Raj, you know Raj.
Yeah.
So I kept saying Pujara, I'm going to say Pujara. So I'm pretty sure this will make the edit anyways.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Yeah,
all the content.
So comedian, what were your roots?
Yes, as a comedian.
As a comedian. I'm not talking about ethnically. This isn't.
I was going to say, very similar to you. Very similar to you.
Imagine how weird that would be. Where are you from?
Where are you from? What village?
Fucking alright.
Yeah, no, comedically speaking, I started with improvised comedy at university.
Mm-hmm. How long ago was that?
So that was in 2012. It's a long time ago, man. Yeah, so essentially, I had a little gap year, as some of us do.
Nice. So you middle class as fuck. I
yeah,
like that.
well, you got.
Dad owns a shop.
Got to try to fit in. No, I wish Dad owned a shop. I would never be trying to be a comedian if Dad owned a shop, but I have all the money already. No,
Trust me, you still would.
yeah, I definitely would.
Improv.
Yeah, man. So like, my cousin from Canada came to visit, and he was like, "Cool, take me around London." And I took him to like the Big Ben and London Eye, and he was like, "Yeah, you're a shit tour guide. Let me take you around London."
Yeah.
And he basically went online and singled out a few places that he thought would be cool to visit, and one of them was the Comedy Store. And the night we went happened to be the improv night.
The professional improv or the gong?
Yeah, professional improv night. Yeah, I love how you call the gong the improv night. Like, let's bring new comedians in and just see what happens.
Because they do that, don't they? That's essentially what they do.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, actually, yeah, it is true. Have you been to a gong night?
I did the gong when I was a few months in. Did not go down well.
Really?
Just as I was getting on stage, somebody actually turned around, like this like hot 20-year-old chick turned around and was like, "He's gonna be shit."
Oh.
And to her credit, I was shit. I opened with a Princess Diana joke and it did not go down well.
Didn't go down well. Yeah, people aren't over that, man.
Yeah,
they won't be.
It's
they won't
strange,
be for a while.
Isn't it? I'm like, come on. It was a good joke as well because it was the time of the royal wedding and stuff.
Okay.
I thought it was actually an okay joke.
Yeah, topical.
Yeah. I was like, hey, they killed her.
I don't know if you guys heard, but
I shouldn't have opened with that. If I'd opened with something different, I need to do the gong again. I haven't done that.
Yeah.
Again.
You should,
I like gong shows, to be fair.
You like them?
Yeah, like the blackout and stuff.
Yeah.
You won that recently, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of months ago, something like that.
That's good. Was that your first time?
No, this was my second time. My first time, I got through. The blackout's a bit more forgiving in the sense that you get 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes. Whereas with the gong show, I mean, I went to watch one near the start of when I started doing stand-up. And my God, man, like, it's the closest thing I've seen to legal bullying ever. It's crazy. This dude came on, this like French Arab dude.
Yeah. And
he was like, "Hello guys, my name is Mohammed. I like to." It was like, "Cut." 4 seconds this guy lasted on stage. It's like, oh my God, would you let him complete his name? Like, maybe he's funny. I don't know.
The night I did it, somebody lasted. It was similar like that. Somebody came on. It was a character act. Came with a fucking lab coat.
Oh man.
Nope. Straight off. Literally.
Oh dude, yeah.
A couple of words out, they saw the lab coat and they were like, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
Dude, so like, on that same night, the dude on the side who announces, announces the names, he was like, "Welcome to the stage," you know, like what, Chris Smith, or you know, whatever his name was. Anyway, the guy was taking his time coming through the little aisle, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get to the fucking stage! Hurry up!" Mate, as he gets closer to the stage, you see this little white stick poking out. Oh man, it was a blind dude. And everyone went, ah, and like no one cared. Like, people cared for about 2 seconds before they were like, ah, fuck this guy.
Do you reckon gong shows have a place, like in comedy?
In comedy,
do you reckon they're actually? So I have this like obviously being like new comics.
Yeah,
I have this conversation a fair bit with people.
I think they do have a place, but I think they're suited to different comics. By that I mean some comics are definitely not suited to a gong show.
Yeah.
And some comics would absolutely smash a gong show. People like to do gong shows early on. When I first started, I was given the advice that, oh mate, just do a gong show now, and then it will be the worst thing you ever do, and everything from there is going to be just better.
Yeah.
So just do that. Which, I mean, I did not take that advice, but I'm happier for it. But you know, some people it might work. Some people it discourages them completely. It just breaks their self-confidence.
It's not horrible advice. Is what I say, because of that advice that you got. Because I did it fairly early on, and to this day it's never been
worse than that. Yeah, sure. But like, you know, you've got self-esteem to the point where you could take that. Where some people, they might do that and be like, oh man,
the
like,
tears in my shower tell a different story. just go home and cry. Fucking. People say that to me quite a bit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you don't
you
care.
cry in the shower. Oh,
okay. Something cries in the shower.
We can tell.
No, so it's like, people say that to me quite a bit, like, oh, you'll be fine, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. I just don't think gong shows are necessarily representative of how good a comic you are.
Yeah.
It's good to prove that you can control this crowd and all of that sort of thing. Within these parameters, you can make it work. But if you're not good at a gong show, it doesn't mean that you're a bad comic. Yeah. Exactly.
What's been the worst gig you've done then?
The worst gig?
Show? Yeah.
No, I've only done the Blackout a couple of times in terms of gong shows. So the first one, so I got those 2 minutes, and in the third minute was kind of like the weakest of my jokes.
Yeah.
And basically one guy wasn't having it, and he put his card up, and then, you know, I think at gong shows also there's a bit of a like herd mentality.
Yeah.
Where if one person puts their card up, they're like, oh damn, yeah, this means it's bad. Okay, I'll just put my card up too. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it happens. And so he did it, and the other two put their card up straight away. And I was like, did you just all just hate me at the same time, or was it that? Or was it that herd mentality? But to be honest, I don't think that was the worst gig. Like I didn't mind. Yeah. I know that things like this happen, and you know, I think the worst gig was it was should I say it? Should I say what the gig was?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, it was Comedy Cabin in Camden. Now
we're gonna have to beat that one out. That's recently changed management.
It has, and I'm not saying it's a reflection of the night. It's just the worst I've ever done.
Okay. Sure. Wink, wink. I've heard things.
We talked about this beforehand, man.
Go on.
No, like.
So Comedy Cabin in Hoxton.
Yeah, and so this night, I must say, like, was particularly like quiet in terms of not in terms of the, like, there was people there, they just did not laugh, man.
Zero atmosphere.
And like, so a comic called Bobby Mayer opened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, I think he's pro.
He's legit.
He's proper legit. Yeah, exactly, man. And this guy was doing his jokes for 10 minutes, man, and I thought they were great, but you know, in terms of the audience, man, it was like maybe, you know, 5 laughs in 10 minutes, which, come on, do the math, Preet.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's bad. That's a joke every 2
It's bad, man. It's bad, and like, you know, I know it's new material now, but mate, it was not. It was good. He was doing well.
Yeah.
But it was just, and you know, he opened, and I thought, oh man, well, if this is what he's getting, well, I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Because I was also going to try out new material, but I was like, well, if that's him, then I'm not going to do well here. No, I didn't get booed, but when I came on, oh man, I could hear people at the back of the room breathing. It was quiet. Wow. It was quiet, man, like the quietest. I don't know if you've had a gig like that where it's super quiet and like.
Was the MC shit?
Yeah, the MC wasn't getting anyone on board that night. So
was it from a lack of trying, or was it?
No, it was not from a lack of trying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then you can't really say. Maybe it was just a shit audience.
Yeah. It's the audience that night, but you know, it's just one of these gigs that makes you think like, oh man, maybe I'm not who I thought I was. Like, maybe I can't do this.
Have you ever bombed when it's been a great fucking lineup?
Yeah.
Great MC, great crowd. And then you go on and just fucking shit.
Yeah. I've definitely had a couple of those.
Oh, everybody asks me what's like the worst like you bombed aside from like that comedy store gong show. I've bombed in a couple of places where it's just been like it's been me. Like, it was me. You know, definitely the jokes I chose to tell, everything was just awful. I did this. I emceed this gig once for Reading Uni. So everybody there is like below a year. So like I'm the quote unquote like, you know, main fucking guy that's supposed to like do everything and
sure.
I wouldn't even say headliner because I was emceeing, but I'm definitely the most experienced there.
Sure.
And I went on and I did my first bit of emceeing. And firstly the room was set up wrong, right? Whereas like I couldn't see anybody.
Okay.
Right? Have you ever had that where there's been like a gap of about 6 fucking feet to the audience?
Whoa.
In a small room as well, right? God. So I can't see anybody to do any crowd work.
Yeah.
And the spotlight's fucking bright. So I just went on, did a bit of my material, just died.
Yeah.
Died horribly. Acts gone, acts die, I die, everybody's fucking dying. It's like a killing field, right?
Yeah.
Like everything's just done. Like it's just shit. To the point where I actually ended up apologising to these fucking comedians.
Oh no.
Because I've been in those shoes where I've been a new act and like the experienced guy's just been shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was me. Like I did so bad that night. They never invited me back to MC until like last week.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
That was probably a good like 8 months, 9 months.
Oh man, okay.
It took them that long to like. I fucking hate MCing though.
Really?
I'm a bad MC. Like, you know, you can like acknowledge like your strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at crowd work, but I'm not
good
being responsible for a room.
I see. Yeah.
Have you ever MC'd?
Yeah. I've MC'd once. It was a night called TNT.
Oh yeah.
In Kentish Town. It's good, but it's really long. So like I really enjoyed it because I think one thing I want to do more of in my stand-up is crowd work and just being loose and you know, being present in the room and playing off of who people are, what they're doing, and MCing is a good way to do that. Yeah. So I did it. It was really good. Like I even got like a couple of bits of material out of it. Yeah. So really, I don't know why I've not done it again, but it was good. Yeah. But you know, that's my one isolated sort of experience of it. So I couldn't really tell you what MCing is like. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I prefer longer spots. I prefer longer spots where they just give you an opportunity to like mix material in with crowd work and like, especially when you're doing new bits. Yeah. And then that's when like the material kind of develops. But the Samosa Chats team, we went to Berlin. Had a couple of gigs booked out in Berlin. Nice. And the first night was like a new material night. The next night was a pro night at the same spot. And on the Thursday, I did like half like a tried and tested bit to like win over the crowd, half like new material shit on like Prince Andrew. Right? Yeah. You really like the royal family, don't you? Oh, bro. Yo, them motherfuckers are something else. Like, it's got to a point. It's got to a point where it would actually be better if the conspiracy theory that they were lizards actually was true. Because then you could at least be like, well, they're fucking lizards. Like, so I did this like bit about Prince Andrew. This was a couple of weeks ago, I think. I did this bit about Prince Andrew, and then I thought it was okay. There's definitely something workable in there. It wasn't like a fucking hit. Yeah. And then I did like a little bit of crowd work in there where I think I told like the audience to fuck off like at one point.
Yeah.
And like that got a laugh. Like they reacted, like they didn't just turn on me or anything.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd done my job. I got off, and then the fucking promoter came up to me and was just like, "Oh, I really liked your stuff, but just tomorrow, like, do better."
It's like, oh, what's that? Sorry, what's that useful advice there? Do better, did you say? Okay, cool. Thanks.
And I was like, fuck. For the rest of the day, A, I was fuming, and B, I was also like, oh shit, what if I don't do better? But then I went on and fucking smashed it the next day.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good.
And I was like,
yeah.
Thank fuck. What's like the worst piece of advice you've ever gotten from like a comic?
The worst piece of advice?
Yeah. Best piece. Let's start with the best piece. That'd be
best.
Yeah, that's easier, I think.
Interesting. Well, as a new comic, you get given a lot of advice.
A lot of it unsolicited.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like advice is like dick pics.
Such as do better.
Yeah. I feel like advice is like dick pics though.
Yeah.
Like, if it's solicited, then it's like a nice little, ooh, okay, that's great. If it's unsolicited, it will just ruin your week.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ladies in the room do not look fucking impressed at that analogy.
I was going to say, I mean, I can't relate having received neither solicited nor unsolicited dick pics before.
Oh man, jump on Grindr.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give it a go. Who knows? But I was on a train recently, actually, with my Bluetooth on. For the first time ever, I saw like someone tried to airdrop me something. I mean, I rejected it, but I regret it because I really am now curious.
I can guarantee to you, it was either a virus, somebody's mixtape, or a dick pic.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious for either of those, though. Any of those. What is it, though? Let me actually be disappointed, then prevent the disappointment.
Yeah.
You know?
Either that or pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a tourist being like, "Have a good day." You know, who knows? I love the tube.
Vote Labour. Oh, that's cute. Which way are you voting?
What's that?
Which way are you voting?
Exactly.
Shit's taking a turn, isn't it?
My God.
Do you try and write political material?
I try to generally avoid it. I mean, I'm doing a little bit more nowadays, but it's less like sort of, you know, what I think of Labour or the Tories or whatever. It's more just like targeting like people that we all know are dickheads, like I don't know, like Donald Trump or something. You know.
Wow, there's a whole fucking country that thinks that he's not.
Yeah, I guess so. In fact, yeah.
It's like Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't agree with any of his majority of his politics, but then you understand why he's in power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. There's like hidden like undertones.
Sure, man. Like these guys, they know what they're doing, man. Like. You know, people will be quick to say, "Oh, this idiot's in power" or whatever. But it's like, well, I mean, considering his background and how he's got to where he's got to, I mean, it's not just sheer luck, is it?
No.
Like, you have to be quite smart to a point. One of my friends made a point recently, which I hadn't considered, which was, I think at some point Boris Johnson was asked about what he liked in terms of his hobbies. And he said something stupid like, "Oh, I like building toy buses" or something.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, there was a scandal with, you know, the promise that was written on the side of the bus.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you Google Boris Johnson bus, that scandal won't come up. What'll come up is the, "Oh, I like buses" thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like little things like everyone's like, "Yeah, he's an idiot," but no, he's not.
He could be a comedian, I think.
Yeah.
He could, couldn't he? Because he could be one of them zany, like, you know, dude that doesn't have like a lot of good material, but like his like fucking head bobble or some shit will carry him through.
Yeah, exactly. Boris Johnson is the Michael McIntyre of politics. No offense to Michael McIntyre, you know.
Well, speaking of Michael McIntyre, who are like your inspirations and favourites?
My inspiration. Sorry, man. I keep you ask me all these questions. I sidetrack completely.
Fuck it. I'll be honest. I've had like a few Jaeger bombs, alright. So it's like I can't remember what you answer and what you don't answer.
My comedic inspirations. I'd say Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's probably one of my favourites. Come on, man.
Finally.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's controversial to say, but as a comic, Louis C.K. I think is very funny.
His best gag was getting his knob out.
Like,
I've never been like a Louis C.K. fan.
Really?
So when that scandal hit, it was like very easy for me to just be like, yeah, fucking.
Yeah, screw this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I was just like,
Yeah, man. It was actually very disappointing, man. It was like, for me, because it's very tough. I've not experienced before like someone that you idolize to a point for whatever reason to do something in that vein. Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, man, like, I really like your stuff, but as a person, you seem very, basically, I wouldn't want to hang out with you. Yeah, questionable, exactly.
Would you go? I'm going to drop you in it now.
What's that?
Would you, if he was in London doing a 60-seater show, somebody invites you, would you go see him?
I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing is,
that's fucking yes.
I think it's controversial enough to say I don't know, because people want you to say just no. I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, man, because of all the allegations, it's definitely very morally, reprehensible. But equally, as I say, as a comedian, I think really good. So this is something I struggle with, to be honest, as a person.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
whether you can separate the man from the art.
I do, yeah. Truly speaking, like, it's not super easy for me to do that. And it could be like, I don't know. It could be to do with the level of, if like, like Bill Cosby, obviously, like, if I really idolize Bill Cosby and like, now I know he's done what he's done, I definitely wouldn't go to see him. So I'm just like, I struggle with myself. I'm like, why is that with Louis C.K. that I have this mental struggle?
I think it's because somebody who's produced such like an emotive like response in you, and created something that's like whichever way you want to look at it, it is something that's been like so important to you. Yeah, it's like they say that your architect or your builder came out as like a paedophile.
Yeah,
he's like he's built your house.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
he's built your house and everything. What are you gonna do? Knock down the house? Like, just because he's proud of it?
Sure, man.
Exactly. Like, I'll be honest. If it was the other way around and it's fucking Dave Chappelle that's done some nonsense, it'd be such a fucking struggle. To just completely boycott him.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because like I want to boycott him on that level. I want to be like, no, because obviously that's terrible. I don't want to come close to looking like I support anything like that. But
you're about to be Me Too before the fame.
But
bro.
yeah, yeah, I know, man. My God, let's get rid of this.
I'm really like, okay, you don't want to answer questions. Here we fucking go.
No, man, I'm just saying I struggle with it. I definitely struggle with it.
I am like, I do count my blessings about how many like artists that I actually like that haven't had anything like this happen to them, and I'm just fucking praying. Like, all I can say is I'm just hoping Dave Chappelle's been a good boy.
Yeah. Well, I saw Dave Chappelle. He came to Hackney recently, Hackney Empire.
Oh yeah.
And he said something. He alluded to something like, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be my turn next. And I was like, oh, please let it not be your turn next, Dave. Come on, man. Like,
I did. Oh yeah. So I must have seen the same show. He did the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
I think we went there, and that was one of the most impressive pieces of art / entertainment I've ever seen. Yeah. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was there. And some of my friends aren't actually into like comedy. They've only like ever seen me. Yeah. But they were like, this was unreal. Like, this was just incredible. Yeah. And I guess it's like similar with music. Like R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. I'm so fortunate that I wasn't actually into their music. Yeah, this is it, man. Like, a lot of people, same with me. Like, but a lot of people will be like, I'll still listen to Michael Jackson, but I'll still listen to but Ignition's still a tune. We were in a club and Ignition came out, and it was the first time I've seen Ignition being played, and people were kind of like, man. Do we dance? Oh God! This is it though. I think, because I think whatever ideas you have about something and how you would act in a situation is all fine until the situation comes about. Yeah. And then you know, right? Like it could go either way, but I could like be like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna go enjoy Louis C.K.'s comedy and be sat there and think,
man, this guy, he did what he did though, and then just be actually, nah, or the other way around. Like,
are there any topics that you wouldn't joke about?
Topics I wouldn't joke about? I don't think so, but I think I need to find the humour in it first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like people like say stuff like, you know, there's a touchy subject like, you know, killing, murder and rape and all of this stuff. And I'm like, you know, I personally have not tried to come up with jokes about that stuff, just because that's not what my mind goes to when I'm trying to write jokes, and I've not found the humour in it. Yeah. But that's not to say that someone else, you know, might not find the humour in it. I don't think, because it goes both ways, right? Like I can't speak for anyone who's been a victim of such things, but some of them, from my knowledge, have said, yeah, you know, when you joke about that kind of stuff, man, it relieves the tension. It relieves the tension, and whatever. At least I'm having a laugh about it. Whereas for other people, it's like, oh man, I don't want to ever hear about this thing again. Yeah.
You know the podcast that we did with Calbeard, the lady that's written the book about domestic violence?
Sure.
One of the things, so we had like a little phone call beforehand, and one of the things I said to her was, look, I just want to make it like completely obvious and clear that I do have domestic violence jokes in my set. Okay. Just to like sort of, and then she was like, oh yeah, that's fine. I joke about it as well. And and it was like hearing that from somebody who's like had that experience, to be like, well, you know, it's a topic. I felt kind of validated and I guess like co-signed almost.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man.
There's like
it's tough.
It is really fucking tough, like writing jokes.
I just think it's just easy to say in life that, yeah, man, I'd always do the best thing. I'd definitely be, you know, the best person I could be. But like, you know, things in life are difficult.
And practice is different. Have you ever been offended in a comedy club?
Offended?
Yeah, offended.
Oh, probably.
Yeah?
I can't think of a particular. I don't think I'm necessarily. I think I'm more offended when someone talks about something touchy and isn't funny. I think if it relates to me, like, you know, if someone makes a really like cheap joke about Indians or something, and it's just not funny, or it's just super inaccurate, I'm like, I don't know if offended is the right word, but I'm like more disappointed. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not offended, I'm disappointed.
I'm just like, man, if you're going to go down that road, like, if you made it hilarious, I'd have been on board.
I'm always more forgiving at new material nights.
Yeah.
Because I've done some awful shitty jokes at new material nights. Yeah. Whereas like, as soon as I've said it on stage, I'm like, what? That wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Like rambling about just something offensive.
Yes. Yeah.
It gets difficult. Like now, there's like a big debate, I guess, and there's even a debate about the debate about comedy. So it's like free speech versus safe spaces.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that?
Man,
this is
question
We're
time.
Grilling. We're fucking grilling.
Question time. Yeah. Free speech. Well, look, I'm definitely an advocate of free speech.
Yeah.
But then I'm also, if you have free speech, so does, you know, the audience running the night. So if you want to say something controversial, do it, but don't be surprised at other people, you know, behaving in a certain way towards you afterwards, because everything you say has some sort of weight to it, right?
Yeah, I always struggle with that concept. Whereas like that whole thing of comedians, maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I've always believed that the only job a comedian has is to make people laugh.
Sure. And
if it was in that room, like I've said, again, I'll bring it around to like me, and I'm sure you have like similar things, where something in a room is funny.
Yeah.
But outside, whether it's a video or whatever, it's not funny. Like even I've watched it and I've kind of been like,
yeah,
that wasn't funny.
Yeah, no, because I mean that makes a difference though, isn't it? When you're in the comedy club, when you're doing a particular thing in that time, in that room, it works. Much like improv, actually. Improv, it's not funny if you watch a video of it. really that much, because the whole magic of improv is that it's happening in front of your eyes, and you as the audience got to decide how this happened. Whereas, in a video, you're not really, even if you can hear the audience throw suggestions out, you're like, this is average at best.
Yeah.
Because you're not. It's very much that kind of experience where you had to be there for it.
Yeah. What's harder, improv or stand up? Because I'm awful at improv. B, I've never really attempted it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's harder?
Yeah, I think stand up for me, just because improv is like, I think it takes a little while to get a hold of the basics, but once you're there, you can kind of, it's just you as a person then coming out with all these weird and wacky ideas that you don't have time to overthink. You just do it on stage. You're never addressing the audience. There's that, the fourth wall is up. You're doing these sketches more or less, apart from when you're asking for suggestions. The actual comedy is you on stage with someone, most likely, and yeah, it just kind of happens. You just need to basically trust in yourself that something funny is going to come out, react to the situation, and it just kind of happens. You don't need to overthink it. You don't need to prepare it in that sense. Whereas stand-up is very like, here's something potentially very deep and personal to me that I've tried to, I've pre-prepared stuff. I've really given this a lot of thought. Oh, you hate it? Oh, cool, thanks. This is the struggle I have with stand-up. But that's what it is, because people have that expectation from you. They're like, when you come up, I want you to really make me laugh. And especially at my stage, early on, you talk about new material nights. Every night for me is a new material night. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I've got loads of hard hitters in the back pocket. Like I
think you're underselling yourself. I've heard you. You've definitely got like a set.
No, I've got a good
set.
Yeah, I've got a good set and stuff. But I mean, but that's about it. And you need to. I've got maybe 10-15 minutes of material that I'm happy with. But I want to have like an hour I'm happy with, and in order to do that, I need to try loads of stuff, and then a good proportion of that won't really work.
Yeah, very true.
So
I relish a good new material night. I fucking love it. Like seriously, it's one of those things where it's like, I did Vauxhall on Monday, which is like a new material night, and it was a small audience in. Yeah. I took up like a notepad. I was just like fucking around. Like, some stuff worked, some didn't. But then I had such a good time when I came off. Yeah. I was like, yeah, shit, that was really fucking useful, and I got this from that. And then it was literally like almost it was like a mini falling back in love with comedy. Yeah. Where it's like, you're like, okay, cool, yeah, I've got these ideas that work, I need to work on this. That can go. And whereas like sometimes it gets a little bit boring when all you're doing is like your quote unquote pro set or whatever. Sure. Like your material. I always think sometimes it can get boring. Anything more than like 3 or 4 times in a row. Oh yeah, it gets boring real quick. But again, that's another sort of trope of stand-up. You need to do the same thing over and over again, slightly differently, to really find where the funniest stuff is. Yeah. Are you a writer then? Like, you sit down and write? Yeah. What's your process like? So every time I notice something that I think is funny, I basically make a note of it in my phone in as much detail as I can. Yeah. And then I'll revisit it when I'm trying to have a sort of writing session where I sit down and just try to get something out. And and I'll look back, and 90% of what I've written down is like, why did I think this was funny? But occasionally you'll find something that you're like, okay, no, actually that's decent. And then I just basically right now I just riff around it on the page, basically. Yeah, exactly. Just like a stream of consciousness. I'm trying to learn more theory though now, because before that's just all I would do. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I'll just see what's funny by thinking about it. But yeah, I'm trying to like learn a little bit more around the theory and sort of exercises I can do to try and find weird, weird angles and
it's stuff that's unique to me.
An exercise that I found really fucking useful. I think majority of exercises I came across were bullshit. But one that I actually found really fucking useful, even just for myself, is like you stick your phone on record.
Yeah.
Like usually I go video because I like to fuck around. And then like even in the car, I will literally just talk to myself.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'll talk to myself about some like topic, like let's say fucking Prince Andrew, right?
Yeah.
I will literally stick my phone on record. Yeah. When I'm driving somewhere and just talk absolute fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
I'll probably get like one or two things out of there that are like useful. I have like a 15-minute video.
yeah. But that's exactly it. So are you willing to? That's what I mean. Go through that process. I don't know why I get really self-conscious, man. When I'm even recording my own voice, I'm just like, it's almost like I'm trying to impress myself. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like talking around it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna listen to that later. I'm not gonna like it. Let me start again. And
I struggle to. I guess I kind of understand what you're saying, but because that's like quite in the moment stuff. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't think I get like that. I don't think anybody likes to hear their voice back.
Yeah.
He says as he does a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
But I guess self-conscious I get around like writing. Sure. Putting a couple of hours aside to write. Yeah. And I've come out the other end of it and I've got nothing. Sure. I'm like, fuck, like I've just wasted 2 hours. I could have been doing something productive. Yeah. But then you kind of like have to like talk yourself into like, okay, no, this is productive. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I think I heard someone say that if you're not willing to write shit stuff, you're never going to write good stuff. Yeah. Basically. Do you know what I mean? You might spend ages writing stuff that in the end turns out to be absolute bollocks. But if you keep on going with that process, the point is, like, it's like anything else. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. Yeah. So, maybe if you attempt 10 jokes, or like even 100 jokes, and only one is good, and only one is something that you would like and you use. Yeah. The point is, if you carry on, eventually it's going to become 2 in 100. Eventually it's going to become, 10 in 100.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting better and better. Yeah. I think one of the things I saw in practice was Russell Howard. I saw Russell Howard at Top Secret the day of the Notre Dame fire. And obviously, Russell Howard's like fucking Russell Howard.
Russell Howard, yeah.
But he murdered it like I've never seen anybody murder it before.
Really?
People were crying in the audience. I was watching the audience because we were sat off to the side. People were crying, and it was about something that had happened that morning.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, man.
It was fucking intense. Where did you grow up?
Little sharp right turn now.
No, because I've been trying to segue into this for a little while. So I want to talk racism.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So I grew up in Wembley.
Oh shit! So the only racism you saw was from other people like us. Not getting your name right.
Well, I went to school in Ealing though. So I went to a Church of England high school.
Ah, okay.
So don't worry, we've got loads to talk about.
Let's dive into it. What was your first experience with racism?
First experience of racism?
Yeah. What's the one that you remember?
I think the first one I remember is like when I lived in Wembley, there used to be like obviously loads of other kids on the street, and we all used to like play football and stuff in the evenings. And I think when I like was first kind of almost like integrating into that group, a couple of the kids would ask me what my name is, and I said it's Daman Bamrah, and they were like, what? Oh, Daman Bam, and then they literally skipped around the street going Daman Bam, and I was like 11 years old and sensitive,
I've never heard anybody make racism sound kind of cute. Yeah. I'm like, those little Tommy Robinsons, go on, get out of here, scam.
Yeah, no, it was, but for me, I was like, oh man, come on, like, yeah, that's not my name.
It affects you when you're that young, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you still, like one of the, oh man, the first time you ever been racially abused on a roller coaster before?
On a roller coaster? It was a very niche experience I haven't had yet, no.
We went to this like seaside town when we were like 8. Yeah. And, this fully grown man. We were the only Asian people that went there. And I'm trying to write this into a bit, but it never comes across properly. But when we were going down there, it was like near Portsmouth, this area. So we're driving down there, and it's definitely like council estate after council estate we're driving through. And England flag out the window, England flag. It's not like a World Cup year or anything, right, which was the worrying bit.
Yeah.
And I remember my mum turning around to my dad and be like, "You sure this place is okay?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, we're fine." We park up, we walk down to the pier, and we're the only Asian people here. We like recognise it almost immediately.
Sure.
And we walk a little bit further into the thing. There's this roller coaster that's like up above, like where like this fucking train. It's like packed out with like these 19, 20-year-olds. I'm 8, my brother's 5, 2 parents, and a cousin who's like 13, 14.
Yeah.
And they pointed down, like they're at the fucking peak of this roller coaster. They pointed down, like, "Packies!"
What?
And then, yeah, because the roller coaster went down. Hand on heart, this is a fucking true story, right? As the roller coaster went down,
yeah,
it like elongated the packy bit, so it was just like a good 40-second walk ride.
Oh my god.
Of packy. And this is how cheap my dad was, right? He was like, my mum was like, "Okay, let's fucking go now."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, we drove all this way. We spent so much money on petrol. At least get on a couple of fucking rides."
Yeah.
We like went on these roller coasters and stuff fearfully. Then there was a mixed race fella.
Yeah.
And he was fighting a white dude.
What?
At this fucking pier. Generally, this is true. Like seriously, it's a true story.
Where was this pier? Like, prison?
Hailing Island. That's the place what it was called.
Okay.
Hailing Island, right? And there's this mixed race dude, and he's fighting this white guy. I'm not sure if it was racist or not, or whatever.
Yeah.
My mum freaks out. We end up leaving, and as we're pulling out of the like seaside car park bit, we literally see 6 or 7 police cars and a couple of ambulances go past.
Oh my god.
Next thing you know, a few days later, my dad's like, "You know that place?" He's like, "Well, somebody's just forwarded me an article from fucking, I think it was either in like a paper or some shit on the news, but somebody had been stabbed there."
Oh my god.
Yeah, that fucking day we were there, somebody had been stabbed.
Yeah.
Never been back since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's my race. That was the first racist experience I can remember.
Damn.
Like, properly. Fucked up.
Oh, roller coaster's really disappointing now. You're like, oh, no one's shouting anything.
It's like horror. It's like, you know, them scary ghost trains and stuff. I'm like, well, you've clearly never been to an EDL ghost train before.
Yeah.
But I think things are changing. I think you see racism in a lot more subtle ways.
Yeah,
like
for
fucking
sure.
Getting mistaken between us two.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone Indian, really. Anyone will do.
Yeah, Raj
Raj
was saying he gets mistaken for you.
Yeah, man. Raj and I did a show together one time, and someone come up to me afterwards, and they were like, "Oh, mate, I got to say, of the whole night, that 69 joke you did, it's my favourite." And like, it's not my joke; it's Raj's joke. But I said thank you because I wanted to compliment. I was like, thanks. That was me.
I try and challenge it as much as I can. One of my like biggest regrets is I worked with a racist.
Do you?
I did. Yeah. One of my jobs. She was this like 50-year-old woman. I think she was actually nearer 60, but she had the whole Pat Butcher hairstyle, like full on. Like it was Brexit year when I was working there with her. Like the Brexit vote was just about to take place. All in the lead up to fucking Brexit, she was like, "Yeah, fucking Brexit, and we're gonna get these foreigners out.
Yeah,
we're gonna do X, Y, Z."
Sure.
And then one day after the Brexit vote, we came in and she was crying in the break room. It was only me and her in there, and I was like, "For fuck's sake, I'm gonna have to ask her." And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she was like blubbering, and she was like, "Well, the pound's fallen so much, I can't retire in France anymore."
Really?
Yeah. I was like, firstly, give me more of that karma. That's delicious. And secondly, I was also kind of like, wow, this like chick wants to stop people from coming into the country, but wants to move to France.
Dude,
she's still working there. She can't afford to retire yet. So,
really,
moral of the story: don't be racist.
Yeah.
That's the moral.
Exactly. Or I mean, you know, You can retire in England. That's all right. That's not too bad, is it?
What are your like comedy goals? Going back to fucking why you were here. So we're talking about race. What are your comedy goals?
Comedy goals. Well, I definitely, if I could get a level of success with comedy, it would be really cool. I'm not trying to. I think it comes down to the fact that I really enjoy stand-up. I really enjoy like comedy, all of this stuff. But growing up, you know, I mean, there's no faces that we could be like, oh yeah, he did it or she did it, so I can do it. Yeah. You know, there's very few sort of
in the UK. I can
examples
only
of that.
One, like in like my late teens in the UK, it was only really Paul Chowdhury, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Paul Chowdhury. Man, for ages I didn't know Paul Chowdhury was Sikh. Like I knew he was a brown guy and stuff.
Really?
I knew he was Punjabi and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, man, like I didn't know this was like a Sikh guy. You know, and like, man, Paul Chowdhury is like super funny, man. Yeah, he's super funny. But like, yeah, so I didn't know. But you know, especially for us, we, you know, apart from today, turban Sikhs, generally speaking, there's no one.
There's no one, is there?
There's no one. There's like, I think Hardeep Kohli.
Hardeep Kohli,
yeah, and he, like, I mean, even that is like, he's not like a proper stand-up or anything. Yeah, you had like obviously Goodness Gracious Me and all of them lot.
Just Rain, maybe.
Again,
it's not UK.
Yeah, again, like Just Rain, but then that's more like sort of when you're 15, 16, and then I also didn't equate that with being a comedian, weirdly enough. Like, again, like it was a separate platform in my head.
True.
Oh, this dude's he makes funny videos and stuff. But yeah, so I just kind of, it would be nice to sort of be in a position where I could potentially inspire. I mean, don't get me wrong. First and foremost, it's for me. For me, innit? I like doing comedy. If I could get paid to do comedy, that's a dream.
Yeah.
But like, it would be cool to be able to like have that sort of position where you can influence people positively. So yeah, man. Like the comedy goals would be like, as you know, to do as well as I possibly can. Basically,
it's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
Do you have any exciting projects and stuff that you want to plug? Projects, gigs? What we saying?
Exciting projects and gigs.
Oh, fuck. No. Have I put you on the spot here?
Yeah, this is the toughest question of them all.
Let's go back to Prince Andrew.
Yeah, no, like, with gigs and stuff, it's really random. I have a website, damanbamrah.com.
Plug.
Yeah, there you go. Or my Instagram, daman.bamrah. If you like, I put all my comedy stuff up there.
Wicked.
All my latest gigs and what I've been up to and all that.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you want to check that out, if you ever want to.
We'll link it all in the description below, anyways.
Sure.
But yeah, awesome. Thank you for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Thank you.